as much as I want to have this channel to be about inspiration, knowledge, information, I also want it to be almost like a documentary where you can see inside somebody's life and you can understand where I'm coming from as a professor. I think that there is this challenge we face in culture where a lot of people just don't connect. They don't sort of see where other people stand and they sort of stand their ground because we're not seeing how other people are. So I was thinking about this. It was like I could sort of talk about a message, but I just wanted to say today um, is I felt extremely exhausted, and I just wanted to document that as even though, I teach a course on strategy, I teach a course on innovation, and I just literally wanted to curl up in a corner today and just cry. It was the whole day where I just felt so exhausted. For I didn't get very good sleep last night, but it was also, it's just challenging to get up and sort of expose, um, to get up and do sort of these things where there's a great deal of, um, responsibility. I think people forget about how much responsibility that there actually is, where there's people that are counting on you, that are looking at you. Now, mind you, it's a small group, right? It's not necessarily that big in terms of society, but it's big enough that you feel the pressure of other people waiting on you, right? And this is I never really understood that, um, as a student many years ago. I didn't really comprehend that on the other side, the other person is not necessarily the sort of robot that you're imagining, right? Or somebody that's supposed to get up there and sort of perform at every level and all the time at 100%. You do feel exhausted many days and you don't want to do that, but you get up and you do it anyways, right? Like part of me was like, oh, just shit. I don't want to do this. I want to, just totally skip today, which there's only been one time that I haven't showed up to teach my class, outside of being absent because I had to do a research trip. And I was just debilitated. I think that was last year or the year before. I was just debilitated with like I had a fever of 103. It was not so fun. But like today, I was just exhausted, just so tired, and I just wanted to curl up and cry. And that's the feeling you get when you're really exhausted. I'm sure you've been there. You understand what that feeling is. You just literally want to go into a room and cry because you're so tired, or just go to sleep, right? Like that's this sort of emotional deregulation is just not there. If I was to do this on a regular basis, I probably just fall apart. Um, but I know that there's people that are depending on me and people that are waiting to listen to what I have to say, regardless of how I actually feel, right? And that's where I need to step up and say, despite the implications for my own self, right? Because I know that immediately this is not going to be great for me to not get that sleep. I should sleep, I should go back to bed, but there's people that are waiting on me. And I have an obligation to these individuals. Now, you can take this, and I often think about that, right? Like I think about the obligation that, say, a CEO or the president of a country, or a prime minister or somebody that was in a job that had a tremendous amount of responsibility to other people and to other folks. What does that mean for them as an individual? Now, one way that we could take that is to have very short stints, right? That's kind of what the CEO market is like right now. There'll be a CEO of a large multinational corporation for 3 or 4 years, and that's it, because it's essentially, It's just too much. But another way, and I kind of like this way, despite the fact that I'm not necessarily a fan of the sort of representativeness um, of this idea, but the idea comes from there's this book called The 4 Hour Work Week. Lots of people sort of have resonated with it. It's this fella, and I can't remember his name, that wrote it. Kind of a guru at a Silicon Valley. But the idea is to find ways to be able to remove yourself of the situation so that you don't actually have to be there. And think about how you could do that. Now, that's kind of a basic principle in in management or in organizational structure or organizational design, but it's hard to do. It's hard to remove yourself and to take yourself out of the equation. And I think figuring out ways that you could do that, despite the fact that you want to be part of it, right? Like, I think all of us, if we build something or we're part of something, and it's sort of part of our identity, we really want to be part of it, right? Like that, we want to be involved in it. So it takes a great deal of um, a great deal of not passion, but a great deal of humility to step back and say, I need to remove myself out of this situation. Now, in this scenario, it's hard for me to actually do that. I can do it in the sense that I can, maybe get them to watch a video or something like that. But the the what ends up happening is that, like, people just don't learn in the circumstance. So how do I get that? How do I so this is a moment where it's breaking down, right? Where we need to come up with better systems or solutions to allow people to step out of the equation, to allow individuals to step out of the equation of being part of somebody's education. How do we do that? I don't know. That's a hard problem to solve. But I think in terms of, your situation, your role, I think you can set up any number of different things that allow you to maybe not step out at any given day, right? Like that you can sort of step out at any given day, but think about ways that you can sort of set up where other people are working independent of you. And this is thinking about modularity within organizations and sort of removing yourself and being able to find various different ways that other people, other entities can do plug and play within the organization and completely replace you. And ultimately, that's what you're aiming for, is to think about how can you be replaced? How can you just not be there and be part of something bigger? And that's a super difficult thing to do, but I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. I think it's an important thing to sort of strive to actually do. So, with that, I do still feel like I just want to go curl up and cry, but I'll get through the day, and maybe perhaps tonight I'll just have an early evening. So, all right, take care and have a wonderful day.